This podcast is brought to you by listeners like you through Patreon and Coffee.com. Thank you. We're also brought to you by Libris Arcana. Stay tuned during this podcast for more information and promo codes. We start off with Leo, the half-elf, in a city. This is not like any other city we have heard of within Swordfall. This is a very large city. Not as large as the city Swordfall, but pretty close. It has many, many crooked streets, and it's almost maze-like. The buildings are built like boxes. With no walls that are angled toward the sun, many buildings look like they have been made into terraces where other buildings and even streets have been built on top of them. All the buildings have slender doorways and slender windows, which can be shut tightly with wooden weather-beaten storm shutters. And also other than that, there's no other wood on the exterior of the houses. In this city, there are two towers. One is much further away from you, and it is grand and it shines in the sun. It is colored a light blue, and it has many gilded statues and other decorations on it. The other tower that's in the city is much closer to you. It looks like it is in disrepair. Even from this distance where you're at, you can tell the interior is not lidded. It looks like a husk. Just something that was alive once. All the motifs on the outside, they're getting peeled away by the wind. Looks like the statues have fallen over time. Even the plaster on the tower is bleached. Well, it's bleached where it's still holding on. And you can see the bare clay and brick that made the tower. As I said, you are in the part of town closest to the old tower. All the structures here aren't as terraced, aren't as stacked as the other parts of town. Usually the highest the stacks of buildings will go is only about 2 different building heights. Not too bad. Unlike the city that you can see further away, this is not plastered. It is not painted white. Everything's a dark reddish or a light brown. It seems like a lot of the walls have exposed clay and brick. Though it is lively. There are people sitting in the shadows enjoying the mid-morning sun. There are children out in the streets. They are playing some kind of sport like football or what most people call soccer. Give me... Let's do the first check of the night. Let's make it a history first.
For me?
Yep, for you. 14. Alright. Give you some information for that. You know, you are in the kingdom of Orzag. So, this is a country, or a kingdom, where each city is independent of each other. Each city and the surrounding farmlands around it are ruled by one or several wizard families. This is depending on how big the city is. You, Leo, are here because you have heard rumors that there is an old blacksmith who knows an ancient craft that is almost lost to time. Also, there's been some moral quandaries and some treaties which have stopped the practice of what this blacksmith has been doing. And since Orzak doesn't really regulate or have any moral qualms about most magical practices, most wizards get to do what they want, including enslaving people and doing magic experiments and a few other nasty things when somebody has total freedom of doing whatever they want. So it's rumored that this particular blacksmith knows techniques to warforges. And since you're part of the Daenerys Blacksmith Guild, you know that if these rumors are true, these techniques would be super valuable and also very useful, and they're lost arts, so, knowing and documenting them could be important to something in the future. So, Leo, how do you track down this person?
Well, it start either by going to the market district or an inn where we could ask questions about where we could find smiths in town.
Alright, I'm gonna say, give me a survival check. Let's see what the dice say, and let's see how good you are at navigating. Yeah, it's easy enough to find an inn. It's not like this is nothing like anything from Daenerys or any of the elven towns all the way to the east. These are simple structures being held together. Like, you see a lot of steel beams, at least, but that's some of the signs of a few signs of industrialization that you've seen. Inside, it's a simple room. It has a lot of wooden tables that look like they have been here since the building has been built. The bar is simple. It looks like someone basically took a piece of wood, shaped it into a counter shape, and then just stuck it. And the bartender's doing the traditional bartender thing of taking his glass, taking a rag, and cleaning whatever glass he has or has to clean.
All right. Are there many people in the inn?
At this time of day, let's say that it's about like early morning. There's people who are probably just getting up for the day. This part of the inn, the bar part or the eatery part, doesn't have many people in it yet. It looks like things are just starting up.
All right. I'm gonna go sit at a stool at the bar and ask for breakfast.
We're going to pause things for a moment and have a word from our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by listeners like you through Patreon and Coffee.com. Thank you. We're also brought to you by Libris Arcana. Do you like role-playing games but you have no dice? Are you a dice dragon and just need a hoard dice? Libris Arcana has you covered. Libris Arcana offers both a monthly and quarterly subscription to get dice. Yeah, that's right. They send you dice monthly or every 3 months. They also sell individual dice sets and great leather protective book covers for your gaming manuals. Go to www.librisarcana.com. That's LIBRISARCANA.com to find out more. And if you use the promo code SwordfallFan, you get a discount. Look in the description below for more details. And now back to the story. The bartender is an elf. Yeah, he's an elf. And he looks at you, gives you a nod, you ask for breakfast, and one of the servers comes up to him. They have a brief conversation. It's nothing spectacular grand. It's just, this man needs breakfast. Go to the kitchen. And give me a perception check.
Perception, right?
Yep, perception 22. That is a very good perception check. So you notice that these people in the bar, or who are in the bar, who are serving, and even the bartender himself, seem to all have anklets on that are tight around their ankles, and
Slavery is legal here, right?
Yes, slavery is legal here. Give me an Arcana check really quickly to see if you can recognize these things. Yeah, you've been warned that these people, they're not here by choice. They're probably underneath one of the ruling wizard families. And since this looks like a tougher neighborhood, they're probably forced to be here to get money for their master. And if they leave the grounds, something terrible might happen.
All right. Once one of them is back with my breakfast, I turn to the innkeeper and ask him, I just arrived in town. Could you point me to a couple of smiths? I think I need to have my armor checked.
An armor smith. Yes, there's one in this district. He's grouchy. I mean, there's maybe about 2 or 3 out of this district. I mean, why here?
It's where the road led me, and I'm looking for a particular smith.
Oh, if you go down the alley to the right of this place, and there's a courtyard, and it opens up. They look at a device on the wall, which you might be telling. Well, no, you would know it's telling time, and they think for a moment. Probably by the time you're done with the breakfast, he will be there.
All right, thank you. And I start eating.
And you start eating, more people start waking up. There are some hooded figures with a snake symbol on them. There are a few just like mercenary types. You can kind of tell, being a traveler and a wanderer yourself, you know that these are probably people who will you can hire for protection. And it looks like some of these are actually with an escort, because their escort is a little bit cleaner, has a little bit of fighter clothes, and looks a little sheepish. But they got men, so they're not like totally terrified. The breakfast is pretty good. It some kind of local bird egg, some kind of sausage. I mean, it's a quaint breakfast. It's not like extravagant, but you can tell for this in this area that it's a good one.
All right. Um, when I'm almost done, um, I'll well, when I'm done,
Uh-huh.
I'll push my plate over to the other side of the countertop and thank the elf and tell him my compliment to the chef. To the chef, this was quite good.
They look super happy about the compliment, and things start. Everyone starts waking up. As I said, more people start getting breakfast. It starts getting a little bit louder. Conversations start up, and you hear a few things here and there. Would you try to be eavesdropping at all, or are you just minding your own business?
A bit, but not like turning towards them. Just see if I can catch thing over the ambient noise.
Let's see. You had a 22 perception. Let's just keep rolling with that. That's a good perception. Uh, so you do end up hearing two ladies talking about an armor smith. One, they just came in. They're having breakfast, and one is kind of complaining that she's been working for this armor smith for a little bit, and it's good money. It's keeping her fed, but the man's difficult, to say the least.
All right. Mm. I'll look over to her and see what she looks like.
Well, she's a tiefling. She is young, and she. It, I, she's not your typical like red-skinned tiefling. She's like very light skin, almost white, and she has just some elegant horns. She's really pretty, and other than that, she doesn't look too amazing. I mean, she has the clothes of um, clothes that someone who's like a messenger would wear. She's not high class or anything, but it's she's decent looking. And the friend she's with is a human. She's a little bit stranger. She has black hair, but it has some off-colored stripes in it, like a deep auburn. And this human's dressed about the same class or same social situation, but is a little bit more put together, a little bit more sure of herself. Her eyes aren't darting back and forth like the tiefling. The tiefling looks like she is probably just new to the area. This podcast is powered by listeners like you. Thanks. Please like, comment, rate, share, and subscribe wherever you can. Consider supporting us through Patreon, Coffee.com, or by hitting the listener support button on our Anchor.fm page. Follow and interact with us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Discord. For all these links, look in the description below. If you liked our podcast, consider listening to these other great podcasts.
Actual play comedy podcasts are awesome. We can all agree on this, right? What if they're in outer space? Or have a cast that don't take themselves too seriously? If you think yes to any of these questions, then you'll love Experience Points. We're all queer cast playing Starfinder while trying to survive whatever bombshells our GM Miyu can dream up for us. We're an impulsive bunch who like to rush into things, which has landed us into some surprising situations. Have you ever accidentally wandered onto an undead nude beach, woken up on a haunted ship that's about to explode, gone fishing in space? We have. Come join in the adventure as we traverse the galaxy, leaving a trail of pink glitter in our wake. We're a diverse group who have combined our passions for tabletop role-playing to craft the tale of the Adventure Hookers, a band of unlikely adventurers who are in completely over their heads. Listen to Experience Points today wherever you find fine podcasts. Then come say hi to us on Facebook at Experience Points or on Twitter at EQ Points. We'll be sure to unroll the pink carpet and have a cup of space chamomile waiting for you.